What if a simple loaf of bread could tell a story that would shatter your heart into a million pieces? Welcome back to the channel, J-drama enthusiasts and curious newcomers alike. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most talked about and emotionally devastating Japanese television events of the year. This isn't just another drama, it's a cultural moment, a poignant exploration of life, legacy, and the most profound loss. We are breaking down the incredible, must-watch special, Anpan, and specifically, the tragic news that left viewers worldwide in a state of collective mourning on September 12. This comprehensive review will cover everything, from a spoiler-free synopsis for those who haven't seen it, to a full, detailed breakdown of the entire plot, including that earth-shattering ending. So, grab your tissues, get comfortable, and prepare for a deep dive into a story that is as beautiful as it is heartbreaking. This is the ultimate, Anpan, spoiler summary and explanation. For those of you who haven't yet experienced this masterpiece, let me set the stage without revealing any of its crucial secrets. Anpan is a special drama that aired on September 12, a date we now know is intrinsically linked to its narrative. The title itself, Anpan, refers to a beloved Japanese sweet bread filled with red bean paste, a simple comfort food that serves as the central metaphor and narrative thread for our entire story. This isn't a high-concept fantasy or a slick corporate thriller, it's a profoundly human story grounded in the quiet, everyday moments that ultimately define our lives. The drama introduces us to Tokairin, a gentle and dedicated baker who runs a small, traditional bakery in a quaint neighborhood. His life is his craft, and his craft is an extension of his love, a love he pours into every single loaf of Anpan he creates. The initial premise feels warm and inviting. We see Tokairin's daily routine, waking up before dawn, meticulously preparing the dough, patiently waiting for it to proof, and greeting his loyal customers with a quiet smile. The bakery is more than a shop, it's a community hub, a place of solace and familiarity. The story gently unfolds, introducing us to the people whose lives are touched by this bakery and by Tokairin's quiet presence. There's the young student who stops by every morning for a boost of courage, the elderly widow for whom the Anpan is a taste of nostalgia, and the busy office worker who finds a moment of peace in its sweetness. Through these vignettes, we piece together the portrait of a good man, a humble man whose greatest ambition is to bring a small piece of happiness to others through his simple, delicious creation. The atmosphere is one of serene nostalgia, lulling you into a sense of warm security. But as the date in the title suggests, this serenity is the calm before a devastating emotional storm. Alright, everyone, this is your final call. What follows from this point onward is a complete and total spoiler discussion for the Anpan drama special. We will be dissecting every major plot point, every hidden meaning, and most importantly, that tragic ending centered on Tokairin himself. If you have not seen this drama and wish to experience its raw emotional power unspoiled, I highly recommend you pause this video now, go watch it, and then come back. I promise, the experience is worth it. For everyone else ready to delve into the heart of the story, let's begin the spoiler explanation. The genius of Anpan lies in its narrative structure. The first half of the special meticulously builds Tokairin's world, showing us his dedication, his kindness, and the small joys of his life. We learn snippets of his past, hints of a great love, a shared dream of opening the bakery. We see him sometimes looking at an old photograph with a wistful smile. The Anpan he makes is special because it's based on a recipe he perfected with his wife, a woman who is noticeably absent from his present life. The assumption, gently guided by the storytelling, is that perhaps they grew apart, or maybe she passed away some time ago. This melancholy is a soft undercurrent beneath the daily warmth of the bakery. The central mystery isn't presented as a shocking twist but as a quiet, looming truth that the audience slowly begins to sense. The pivotal shift happens around the midway point. The drama cuts from the warm, golden hues of the bakery to a stark, white hospital room. We see Tokairin, not in his apron, but in a patient's gown, looking frail and tired. The date is established, it's early September. Through conversations with a kind but solemn doctor, the devastating truth is revealed. Tokairin is terminally ill. His time is measured not in years, or months, but in mere weeks. The bakery we've come to love. It's been run by his loyal assistant for the past few months as he underwent treatments that ultimately failed. The scenes we witnessed of him baking were a mixture of flashbacks and his final, determined days back at the oven after leaving the hospital to see his dream through to the end. His goal is no longer just to make bread, it's to create one final, perfect batch of Anpan for his customers on one specific date, September 12th. Why that date? This is where the story reaches its emotional crescendo. September 12th is the birthday of his late wife. The Anpan recipe was her dream, and the bakery was their shared life's work. After she passed years ago, he kept the bakery running as a living memorial to her. His final wish is to honor her memory one last time, to pour every ounce of his love, grief, and gratitude into one last offering. The day itself is portrayed with a heartbreaking beauty. Tokairin, visibly weak but radiant with purpose, works through the night. He passes away peacefully in his bakery, surrounded by the warmth of the ovens and the smell of baking bread, just as the first batch is finished. The final scenes show his assistant opening the shop the next morning, tearfully handing out the Anpan to the confused and then heartbroken customers, explaining that it was the master's final gift to them. The ending is not about a cure or a miracle, it's about a man achieving a perfect, peaceful, and meaningful end on his own terms, forever intertwining his legacy with the simple, sweet taste of Anpan. The profound impact of this drama lives and dies with the character of Tokairin, and the portrayal is nothing short of legendary. This is a character arc defined not by dramatic change, but by profound fulfillment. He begins the story as a quiet, content baker and ends it as a man who has achieved complete closure. His motivation is pure love, love for his craft, love for his community, and most of all, his enduring, unwavering love for his wife. His journey in the narrative is the physical and emotional struggle to manifest that love one final time. He isn't fighting his illness out of a desire to live longer, he's marshalling his last reserves of strength to complete his life's work. This gives his character a tragic yet incredibly powerful dignity. The performance is subtle, saying more with a single glance at a mixing bowl than pages of dialogue ever could. The actor conveys immense pain, not through grand outbursts, but through the slight trembling of his hands or the sheen of sweat on his brow as he stubbornly stands through a wave of nausea. The supporting characters, while not as deeply explored, serve as crucial mirrors to Tokairin's goodness. His young assistant represents legacy, the passing down of, not just a recipe, but a philosophy of care and dedication. The customers represent the ripple effect of a single good life. Their individual stories, though brief, show how Tokairin's simple act of baking bread supported their own journeys, giving courage, offering comfort, sparking memories. His relationship with his deceased wife is the ghost that haunts the entire story in the most beautiful way. We never see her in the present, only in hazy, warm-filtered flashbacks, but her presence is palpable in every corner of the bakery, in every ingredient, in every smile Tokairin offers a customer. Their chemistry, shown only in these fleeting memories, feels authentic and deep, making his loss and his final tribute all the more powerful. The actor's portrayal of a man guided by memory is a masterclass in silent grief and devotion. On the surface, Anpan is a simple story about a baker. But its themes are universal and deeply resonant. The most prominent theme is that of Ikigai, a Japanese concept meaning, a reason for being. Tokairin's Ikigai is unmistakably his bakery and his Anpan. It is what gets him out of bed in the morning, what connects him to others, and what gives his life meaning. The drama poses a powerful question: what does it mean to live a good life? And it answers by showing that a good life isn't about grand achievements or wealth, but about the small, consistent acts of kindness and dedication that touch the lives of others. Tokairin's legacy isn't a famous brand, it's the taste of home for a student, a moment of connection for a widow, and a recipe passed on to the next generation. The drama is also a profound meditation on mortality and acceptance. Unlike many Western narratives that frame terminal illness as a battle to be fought and won, Anpan presents a more nuanced, perhaps more Japanese perspective on acceptance and finding beauty in the end. Tokairin's journey is not about beating cancer, it's about using his limited time to create something beautiful and lasting. This reflects cultural attitudes towards death that emphasize grace, preparation, and not being a burden. He quietly arranges everything for his assistant and his customers before he goes. Furthermore, the Anpan itself is a powerful symbol of Furusato, hometown, and nostalgia. It's a traditional food that evokes childhood and comfort, making the story a love letter to simple, enduring Japanese traditions in a fast-paced modern world. It comments on the value of community, of small local businesses, and the invisible threads that bind a neighborhood together through something as humble as a loaf of bread.